Congressional Democrats have introduced a bill to abolish the Immigration and Customs Enforcement operation. That will be ICE. Abolish it, they say. That man on the right of the screen, Kevin McCarthy, he called their bluff. He said, OK, the House will vote on it. Joining us now, that gentleman right there, Congressman Barry Loudermilk. Sir, he's called their bluff because if there is a vote, and there will be a vote, the Democrats are going to vote against their own proposal.
It doesn't surprise me one bit that they don't want the American people, obviously, to know really what they feel. I mean, you're talking about abolishing an agency that has intercepted enough fentanyl at the border. We're talking about the most dangerous form of opioids, enough to kill a significant portion of the United States population. They have freed children from slave trafficking coming across the border. They've intercepted terrorists, but yet they want to get rid of them. But we don't want everybody to know. I mean, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. It's just like in the hearing yesterday, you know, for 2 weeks, we heard the Democrats say, without even knowing who the nominee for the Supreme Court was going to be, is that whoever it is, their political thought and bias would prevent them from actually objectively doing their job. But then we heard yesterday in this hearing that even with documented political bias, that would not prevent him from objectively doing his job. So the hypocrisy is absolutely unbelievable in this town.
Okay, now I read your stuff, Congressman, and I read that you believe that the financial regulations which came on right after the crash are hurting charities like Habitat for Humanity. I believe that's your point of view, but B, what are you doing about it?
Well, we actually passed a bill. Believe it or not, we did something unanimously in the House, and it took us a while to get there. But this town is really good at trying to fix all of America's problems, painting it with a broad brush. When they passed Dodd Frank, before I came to Congress, it hurt the consumer, especially charities, because they went from, you look at somebody like Habitat for Humanity that builds low-cost homes for needy families. They actually give them a zero-interest mortgage as part of that. Well, Dodd Frank says if you're a mortgage originator, you now have to go from this simplified mortgage disclosure to an 1,888-page rule, and which is so complex you have to hire specialists just to understand it. That deeply affected Habitat for Humanity. It hurt their ability because they have a lot of volunteers. They were having a hard time meeting the overwhelming burden this regulation put on them. We simply passed a bill that said, look, we're going to at least exempt Habitat for Humanity from this overregulation and let them just simply go back to the old way prior to Dodd Frank of simplifying this whole process. It only makes sense.
Barry, could you please expand the reach of your legislation? Because I've got a production team in which at least 3 people have applied for mortgages, and including myself, and it is pure murder. It is paperwork hell. Can you do something?
Oh, we absolutely would love to expand that further. We want to take care of the neediest right up front. We're able to get this through. I'd love to see this expand. It's ironic to me that if you go to buy a car, which actually is going to depreciate as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's mobile. You can take it around anywhere. There's never as much value in that car as what you borrow. You fill out 2 or 3 pieces of paper. You go buy a piece of real estate that is going to be fixed. It is going to be there. It is going to appreciate. The banks will be able to get their money out of it, but yet you have stacks and stacks of paperwork you have to fill out. The whole thing is backwards. It needs to be fixed.
Yes, please. But Barry Loudermilk, you are all right, sir. Anytime you want airtime, you got it, fella. Let me tell you.
Thank you, Stuart. You do an awesome job.
Thank you, sir.